What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? Your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming is back again. What are we doing? Well, we're going to do a two-gun review. Full review. Now, you've already seen an unboxing. You've already seen a how-to play. And the 20-Sided Warriors even gave you their quick shots on this. What is this I'm talking about? Shoot Again Games Conspiracy. Card game all about conspiracies. Whether it's Bigfoot or whether it's aliens, cloning Hitler, cold fusion, reptilian overlords, chemtrails. The game has it all. But is the game worth it? Well, why don't we take a look at the game and I'll let you know. All right, so real quick, let's go over again for anyone that hasn't watched the how-to play, and you really should go back and watching it. But just so you know what I'm talking about here, this game plays a bit like gin rummy. You're trying to collect sets in order to win the game. The sets are all worth points. So example is you have to put down 3 in order to start your conspiracy, start revealing them. And, you would put down like 3 of the reptilian overlords and maybe with a proof card of it. And the proof cards are worth more, as you can see. 2 points, 2 points, 4 points. These are an action card. You can only play one of them at a time. You can tell because of the lightning bolts. And there's a whole bunch of different conspiracies. A lot more different conspiracies than you would find in a typical card game collection set, such as a rummy kind of game. You have role-playing is devil worshipping, and you have the alien Area 51 conspiracy. You have chemtrails. And you also get these wild cards here. You get these wild cards of the leaked files, which can be used on any of the conspiracies. So during the course of the game, you're going to try to get as many conspiracies together as you can. You want to play as many of these cards as you can, or maybe even strengthen someone else's conspiracy and keep cards from going into the discard pile, which in this game is called the tabloids, because any and all cards in the tabloid section at the end of the round, when you're adding up points, are actually going to play against you. So if there was in the discard pile, there was already a role-playing is devil worship, then that would cancel out one of the cards that you had played in order to try to prove it. So sometimes you want to keep things out of the tabloid papers, because you don't want your particular conspiracy to get ruined by the tabloids. And at the same time, you want to try to put some in to try to keep the other players from having their conspiracies proved before you or worth more points. In the metagaming style there, for the overall point system. So there's ways that you go back and forth. Very simple, very similar to most card games, typical card games like a rummy, as I said. And it's a basic set collection. So does this game work? Well, let's come back up and we'll talk about it. All right, so hopefully you've seen some of the other videos. You've seen the how-to play, which gets much more in-depth than what I just told you right here. Maybe you've already seen the 20-Sided Warriors give their shout-out there, my gaming group as I call them, in the segment 20-Sided Shots. But let's get into a little bit more detail than the quick little things, tidbits that they were throwing out. Because just about everything they said is true. Overall, I just got to say right up front, it is a fun game. We had a lot of fun playing a few rounds of this game. We definitely enjoyed it, and I think we're going to be playing some more of it. But the reason it seems to work is because of the conspiracies. This game could have used any concept, any overlay, any skin, so to speak, to make it different than a typical card game. But it chose this. It chose the whole conspiracy file thing, and it really made the game fun. But did that make it a good game? That in itself didn't make it a good game. I think the reason we had so much fun with it was because of the possibilities. There was so many deeper possibilities, more possibilities than you would have in a normal playing deck kind of style game. And that brought out a lot of strategies between us that we were all trying to do, between trying to strengthen our own conspiracies as well as destroy the conspiracy theories of the other players. That played out really well. It got a little cutthroat, and that's what you want in a game, I think. In a competition style game, you definitely want that feeling of I'm out to get you, I'm out to beat you, and this game did deliver that. However, it also gave a bit of cooperation, actually, because you did have the chance to strengthen someone else's conspiracy theory if it was going to help you. So the game balanced those two styles fairly well, although there was no secret about it that it was a competition game. It didn't overlap that at all with the little bit of cooperation that we were able to throw each other here and there. I think another reason that this game worked so well is actually because of the way the cards played with each other. The action cards that you were able to use as opposed to just the conspiracy cards, they all have their own unique abilities. Again, that's taking it a step further than a regular playing deck. Every card, for example, Area 51, once this conspiracy is revealed or strengthened, you may, at the beginning of your turn, when drawing from the drawer deck, take 2 cards and keep one, return the other one. So that also added in a whole extra depth. And every conspiracy is different. This is just the conspiracy I read for you for the Area 51 cards. Every conspiracy has its own different way to bend the rules or slightly take you that next step. And that's what kept us wanting to play another round and another round and another round, I think, probably more than anything else. I think this game works. I think this game is a fun game, definitely. I mean, you can't have a game based on conspiracy theories and not have a fun game. But I think it was also fun because of that back and forth competition, yet a little bit of co-op play. That worked really well. Overall, I think that this game might be considered, yes, I'll agree with Alex in the 20-sided Warriors if you saw the 20-sided shots. I can see this being a sort of gateway game because of the similarities with a playing deck card game, with those rummy-style games. Anyone that's familiar with that is automatically going to have a basic concept of what they're doing in this game, and that's going to help them. It's going to help them play it. It's going to help them want to play it because they already know some of the rules. So the fun factor, the familiarity factor, definitely seemed to work. Replayability. Does this game have replayability? Yes. Yes, it does, because there are so many options. There are so many different conspiracies in this game to build on. And as I said, they each bend the rules somehow a little bit differently than the others. And that definitely is going to help with replayability. I think that eventually it could hit a bit of a wall going through all the conspiracies. And so down the road, the replayability might get a little stale for you, but you're going to go through a heck of a lot of games before that happens. Now, what I'm going to say here is just a prediction, because with a couple of exceptions, every single card fits in one side of this. You could put them both in, they'd be half full. So that makes me think that there might be an expansion in mind by Shoot Again Games, though they didn't say anything to me about that specifically, so don't quote me on that. And if they haven't thought about it yet, I think they really should think about it, because that's going to extend the life of the replayability even more. So overall, I think this is a good game. I think this game works for families. I think this game works for a little bit more hardcore gamers, but it's not going to be the game that the hardcore gamers are constantly going to want to be taken off your shelf. It's going to make for a fun distraction, and they're generally going to enjoy it. Even if they're not into conspiracies, the artwork in some of the cases is rather funny. I mean, I love the artwork here. Try to help you focus on that. With the monster manual, the Gelantius cube coming out of it to destroy the guy. I mean, that's funny. It definitely is. I think this game works. If you're looking for a light, fast game that you can play with people that aren't hardcore gamers, this is a game you might want to look into. I definitely think you should give Conspiracy, or should I say Conspiracy, because it has an exclamation point on it, definitely give it a shot. Now, it's recently finished. The game's for sale. It's recently finished off of a Kickstarter, so that's always a good sign. We've all seen way too many Kickstarter games that have just completely failed. So I think that, again, adds something to the sensibility of the game as far as people have enjoyed it already that have played it. So, Conspiracy, Shoot Again Games. We think Two Gun Pixie here, myself and the 20-Sided Warriors, all definitely give this thumbs up. We think it's a good game, it's a fun game, and it's worth playing. I'm Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming. I want to thank everyone for the attention you've given us here on YouTube and for all the subscriptions. But don't forget, we're also on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on Twitter. So, check us out over there. We do a lot more than just board gaming stuff there, a lot more geek-related stuff. I think you'll have fun with the other sites. All right, so I am out of here.